Hey guys, how's it going? Kripp here. Today I want to go over another heal card from Whispers of the Old Gods. It is the Cult Apothecary, and this is a really interesting card. I think the heal cards and the board clears are probably the cards that pique my interest the most, and this definitely has been one of them. It's been one of these cards that kind of in the background has been pretty decent in some spots, but you'd think it would be much better than it has been performing, and I want to talk about that. So, a lot of the conditions that you're facing when you play ladder, when you're losing at least, is your opponent plays a whole bunch of small minions that are very difficult to remove. They go face, and you're stuck with a lot of very poor decisions on what kind of options you have because of the fact that you're losing on the board, you have limited resources, and you might just not be able to make any plays you like playing. So you'd think a card that heals you for a lot when your opponent has a massive board would be pretty good, as healing is still a very premium aspect to Hearthstone, and it is one that seems to play into what a lot of people are doing on ladder. There's a ton of aggro decks, and there's a ton of zoo decks. I think aggro, zoo, and what people call as the mid-range, which is not really anything, it's just aggro with like 3/5 drops thrown in, comprises like 80% of ladder right now. So, why isn't this card seeing any play? Why is this card not dominating these decks? And a lot of that actually has to do with the fact that you need heals in combination with efficient board clears. And just because you have heals, which you definitely do have now, being won through the Cult Apothecary, doesn't mean it's going to carry you by itself. It's actually generally the board clears that are going to carry you by themselves. If you have a very efficient board clear before you take too much damage and you can stabilize the board from it, that's kind of where you're going to take your win condition. If you have a board clear and a heal, that's really good. But the part that Cult Apothecary kind of misses out on is because you need to have a big board, you can't use it as some of the other traditional heal effects, as normally you'd want to clear the board, then heal. But with the Cult Apothecary, you have to heal, then clear the board. And generally what happens is, because of this order, because of constraints on your mana, you're not able to do both on the same turn. And what generally happens is, the amount that you heal for is the amount, and usually less than the amount, that you're going to take from another wave of attacks on the following turn. So even though Cult Apothecary is a premium heal that seems like it works really well right now, it kind of has this conflicting issue with mana restrictions and the fact that you have to play it before a board clear. So it's negative synergy in the type of situation and deck that you would want to normally have positive synergy. So that's kind of the issue. I think that's primarily why we don't see it very much in constructed. I've had a little bit of success in like mid-range zoo decks with the card. Again, because mostly some of these classes don't have access to much healing, and in decks where you don't necessarily need to clear the board, if you have like a weapon and if you have like a very cheap way to remove another card, you can typically trade on the board, use your weapon, use like another removal to use kind of like a board clear effect. So in the marginal cases, it's alright, but generally those decks have not been the ones that have flourished. So that's kind of why it's been a bit unsuccessful in constructed play, and I think that will shift dramatically if we see super low-cost, mana-efficient board clears in the future, but I wouldn't count on that. In terms of arena play, it is a pretty good card. In arena, people are not giving credit for board clears because they are rarer than they have ever been as a proportion to the total card pool, and in arena, you're kind of faced with the same situation where even though you heal for a lot because you can't clear the board, you're still going to lose. But the card is still pretty decent. Sometimes just gaining, 4 or 6 health is generally going to be good enough. And the fact that the body is pretty solid, I would rate the card better than Anti-Killbot. Now, Anti-Killbot in Arena is not a great card at all, but sometimes it's useful. If you have a deck that's fairly slow, you have a number of these tools, particularly including board clears and taunts as well, having a little bit of healing is actually perhaps one of the best things that you can do for your deck. So in some situations, it is a very powerful card, and in others, it offers just like an okay option. It's a 5-mana 4/4. Not great, but not bad by any means. And I'm kind of glad that cards like these exist in the game because they create even though the conflicting scenario is bad for the card and bad for the purpose of the card, it creates extremely tough decision-making options, and it really lets you think, because it's not like this card does something and it's so good, this other card does something and it's so good as well. I don't know which good card to do. With this card, it's like a trade-off, you know? I'd really like to heal, but I'd really like to do something else as well. And I can't do both, and I can't change the order. So the restriction aspect of it kind of influences people to really have some critical thinking when it comes to making the plays for the next few turns. So the card is a very interesting one, and yeah. It's nice to have more healing, I guess. For now, I want to show you guys a couple games. This is a little bit earlier on in the expansion, just so you can see I managed to fit the card in a pretty interesting deck, and you can see how it can work. It's not useless, even in Constructed. Check it out, enjoy, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Let's just keep that in case it's Zoo. I had no ways out, considering he top decked the swipe and had Drew the Claw. There's no way to play around that.
It's getting hot in here.
It's cold.
It was your fault.
The Silence Cthulhu attack Hellfire left him with a better state in terms of taunts, but I still lost the swipe, and it was the card that he top decked. And he still needed to top deck swipe along with another direct damage card to win there. So, yeah, we really couldn't do anything there, is basically what I'm saying. If he has abusive here, I'm pretty screwed.
Get it out! Get it out!
No, that's not too bad.
It's coming.
That was a mistake.
Okay. I should probably silence that. Just so we don't take that much damage. There was a way 4-2 into Black Knight and kill his Black Knight, and 2-3 with a Dreadsteed. Yeah, how do I deal with Cthulhu? It doesn't deal with it at all.
Buying or selling.
3 mana BGH just takes a turn. I should run Usher of Souls with Dreadsteed? Maybe.
Why do you call? Deal. Cthulhu! Cthulhu! Well met.
I haven't got any board clears, but I do have the Cult Apothecary, which should heal me pretty nicely if I need to.
Get in there and fight, maggot! My shield for Argus! Oops, I broke it. Deal.
Yeah, I kind of thought about that. Okay, I guess.
Take your medicine.
I have a lot of cards to go through still. Oh, that could be bad. Can he kill it himself?
My shield for Argus! The Feast of Souls.
think we can get him this game.
Put this apple on your head.
I think he has that populate the board card. Yeah. That's what he has.
Almost out of time. So much pain.
Put this apple on your head.
Get it out! Get it out! I bleed for Cthulhu.
I think I'm gonna mill a Zulok. I think he's gonna run out of cards. He should definitely not kill that.
I have no time for games.
My shield for Argus. You win this time.
Alright. Well, let's just keep all the early game cards because Tempo Mage has been pretty ridiculous against this. I tried Cthulhu Rogue, but it was terrible. I don't recommend playing Cthulhu Rogue. Oh, I saw the message. Apparently he had sap as well. So yeah, there's just no fucking way I'm beating that. I'm gonna try to play on curve here.
Shield up.
Just so if he has like a Flame Waker, I can kind of deal with it with the Flame Spellbreaker, sorry. Yeah, the Tempo Mage is a deck I have struggled with. Well, isn't that amazing? His spell is playable? Jeez. If I silence the worm, it still trades. I think Argus might be the best option.
My shield for Argus.
Someday I'll be just like you.
Oh, I just played into Hellfire, but I don't have it.
Cthulhu! Cthulhu! Cthulhu!
Well, I got a Fireball out, so that play couldn't have been that bad. I'm thinking about Siphon Souling a Mana Orb. No, let's do this instead.
Do you hear its call?
Your magic shall not save you.
This way. Listen closely.
Okay, we have a little bit of healing here.
You require my assistance?
Amazing.
It's coming.
I think we won. We did not win yet. Fuck.
Symphony of attack. That was a mistake.
He has Polymorph. It's gross. next turn I could keep it alive. But...
You face Daraxus, Eladar Lord of the Burning Legion.
No, I can maybe recover here. It's pretty tough, but we can maybe recover here.
Take your medicine.
Wanted, dead or alive.
That's pretty bad. I think I will need to play Sylvanas. Yeah.
I have no time for games.
He's played one Fireball. He has a random spell, and he's just top decking right now. So there is a realistic chance that we can win this game. That is a pretty fucking good draw.
Let none survive.
And there's a good chance it's Mirror Entity, so I don't want to play the Gang Boss.
I serve the Fire Lord.
Okay, alright, let's see what it is. If it's Mirror Entity, I go face. If not, I have to play around Ice Block. Holy shit, it's Ice Block. You got Ice Block off Spellslinger. Yeah. One Fireball, by the way. Just one. He used the other one. 1 in 13. Oh, come on.
Well played.
We won that game. That's a pretty good comeback. You guys gotta admit, that was like a no joke level comeback.